The Knicks took game one against the Pacers, but that W didn't come without controversy. So let's get the fan response and the vibes from the city from Matthew Miranda, lead writer and editor of the Strickland. Matthew, man, I saw what you put up in terms of your articles up on the Strickland, up on X. I went, studied you. Let's get your standouts, moments, and what your takeaways were from game one last night.
I think the most striking thing right off the bat was just how completely different this Indiana team is in terms of what they want to do and in terms of the questions that they ask of the Knicks coming off of the 76ers series. You really have just a completely different stylistic opponent in this match in terms of their depth, in terms of their pace, in terms of, they don't have the centrality around Embiid and Maxey. It really seems to spread around. And I think also defensively, the Pacers don't push in the half court the way Philadelphia does, which seemed like a relief at times. But the way that they pressured the Knicks, particularly on inbounds and full court, is something that I think you never really saw much of from Philadelphia and could be a recurring issue in this series.
So you're saying the Pacers are a better team all around than the 76ers?
I think the 76ers with a fully healthy Embiid are a different kind of monster. But I think the difference for the Knicks is I think the Knicks are now facing a team that, they want to run. Philly doesn't really want to run. Philly wants to center things around Embiid, ideally in the post if they can, or Maxey. But with Philadelphia, particularly with Halliburton injury compromised, I think there's much more of a, we want to run, we want to share, we want to spread things out, we want to try to see if the Knicks can match us, in terms of breadth, not just in terms of depth. I think that's a different kind of opponent than what you had last round. Okay,
two different types of schemes that the Knicks are playing up against. That's very fascinating. I'm going to definitely have to keep my eye on that going forward. NBA officiating is in the spotlight again after the refs admitted they blew a call on that kickball, and then they had that questionable moving screen violation at the end of the game. I know there's nothing that can be done right now, but what are your thoughts on the officiating in game one?
I don't think the referees are really any worse than they ever have been. I think what's different is there's more media, there's more cameras, there's more technological access to their mistakes, there's more people watching the game, and there's more gamblers. I don't think if you watched a game in the 90s or the 80s or the 60s that you'd really find that I think the refs are better than they've ever been. I just think there's so much more meaning and investment financially, emotionally, spiritually that people have in these games that when anything goes wrong, got to blame somebody, so you blame the refs. I thought the refs last night were even between the two teams. I think both teams had things they could complain about, but I don't think, it was some stunning imbalance towards the Knicks over the Pacers.
Yeah, when someone bets and then loses their rent money, you're going to be pointing the fingers at the officiating if that call doesn't go your way. I want to get your thoughts on Jalen Brunson, man. He put up another 40-point game in the playoffs. He has carried this team on his back once again. Matthew, can he do this for another entire series?
I would say this. I would say last year against Miami, it didn't slow down. This year for 4 months when Randall and OG Anunoby were out, it didn't slow down. Last round against the Sixers, it didn't slow down. At this point, until it slows down, I'm just going to trust that it's going to keep on going because it's not like Brunson is putting up an inefficient 11 of 30 every night to get these points. He's shooting over 50% last night. You see the way he gets the shots, his ability to get to the line. To this point, as long as his health maintains, I don't see why he can't keep it going because for over a year now, no one's been able to stop it.
Who needs to step up, though, just in case he doesn't score another 40? Let's say he does have a night where he only scores 20, 25. Where does that other 15 to 20 points come from?
I think you've seen stretches in both series where you've seen different people have stepped up. OG has stepped up at different points in his dribble drive and mid-range game. You've seen some stretches, including last night, where the Isaiah Hartenstein kind of floater attack is what keeps the offense surviving what otherwise be a dry spell. And also consider the Knicks they've won 5 playoff games so far in this postseason. And in the majority of those games, either Josh Hart or Dante DiVincenzo hit the game or series clinching shot to win them. So Brunson has been, the baseline that just keeps this sweet music going and going. But every time the Knicks have needed someone else to step up, someone else has.
All right, if you're Tom Thibodeau, what adjustments are you making for game two? What do the Knicks have to clean up?
I think you're going to see, and this came up a little bit last postseason, I think it was against Cleveland, I think the Knicks absolutely are going to work on cleaning up some of their inbounds passes, some of the full-length pressure that Indiana was able to apply to them, particularly to Brunson. I think in late-game situations, you're going to see them look to maybe get the ball a bit more to DiVincenzo. So you saw last night Brunson get the ball on the sideline. He's pressured. He tries to jump and make a play, throws it off the pacer. It comes off, I think, Halliburton, and it came off him. You don't want – that's a situation where I don't need Brunson doing everything. He doesn't have to get all the inbounds, take all the fouls, make all the free throws, make it a little easier on him there. And also, and if Tom Thibodeau can figure this out, God bless him, TJ McConnell's been killing this team for 9 years, going back to the game winner when he was in Philadelphia over Carmelo Anthony. I don't know what it is with this man, but he sees blue and orange, and he turns into Jerry West. So maybe Tibbs has an answer for that, because I know I don't.
Shaq called him Rudy during the halftime show, and the dude balls, man, absolutely.
He's a lot better than Rudy.
Respect to him. Matthew, shout out the platform. Tell the people where they can find you.
You'll find my recap of the games on my writing at the Strickland, the strick.land. Also, check out Locked on Knicks. I did the post-game pod last night there with Alex Wolf. And also, I had Caitlin Cooper on my podcast, Jacobin Sports Show. She is, been called out by Rick Carlisle, Halliburton. She is the Pacer X's and O's god. If you want to have a real good technical breakdown of where this series is going to go, check out Jacobin Sports Show. Check out Caitlin Cooper there.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me.